Hello and welcome to the Feck It Fun, Fabulous and Free Eating Disorder Recovery podcast. I'm Helly and I'm here to provide regular bursts of information and inspiration, some neuroscience applicable to eating disorder recovery, perhaps a few rants, but otherwise lots of positivity with a bit of a feck it attitude, some fun and a sprinkling of fabulousness to help everyone find freedom in recovery. Hi, welcome to the Feck It Fun, Fabulous and Free Eating Disorder Recovery podcast. I'm Helly, I'm an eating disorder recovery coach working with people in recovery from eating disorders and disordered eating. Today's episode, I want to talk about the fact that when we talk about rewiring the brain, which we do a lot in eating disorder recovery, rewiring actually applies to thoughts and not just your actions. So I've made episodes before about the concept of neuroplasticity, which is the fancy word we use for rewiring the brain. And so neuroplasticity means the brain's ability to change and adapt, even as adults, to learn new skills, to develop new habits, and to change ultimately how we live, what we do, what we think. As I say, in previous episodes, I have spoken about what neuroplasticity is, and how you can use it for eating disorder recovery, and why it's useful to know about it when you are in recovery. In this episode, as I say, I'm going to talk a bit more about the fact that rewiring your brain doesn't apply only to your actions and behaviours, but also to your thoughts and your habitual thought patterns. And because our thoughts can drive our behaviours, it's really important to know about this stuff. So if you have an eating disorder, then you likely have a lot of disordered thoughts and thought patterns at the moment that are very automatic and very habitual. But you can change your thoughts through rewiring, which can then benefit changing your behaviours and your actions, so it's a win-win situation. And the big benefit of being able to rewire your thoughts is that then what went before in your life can be irrelevant, as what you choose to think today can guide what you do and how you think in the future, and ultimately will change how you think, feel and act in your future recovered life. So when you're in recovery, forcing yourself to start thinking recovery positive thoughts can be of huge benefit, as the more you choose recovery positive thoughts, even if you don't believe them at first, the more they will be becoming ingrained in your mind. And if you keep focused on them long enough, they will become automatic and ultimately override the old disordered thoughts that you used to have. And at the end of the day, our beliefs that we hold stem from our thoughts and our actions. So if you could change your thoughts, and in doing so, that makes changing your actions in recovery easier too, this will ultimately all result in changing your beliefs. And those old disordered beliefs that you have also held will also begin to shift and change to become beliefs that drive your recovery and your ultimate recovered life. And as I said before, you might not believe the recovery positive thoughts at first. When you first try to force yourself to have these recovery positive thoughts, they will probably feel very wrong to you. They'll feel strange and alien to you. But the more you focus on them, the more they make the rest of the recovery process a bit easier. And ultimately, those thoughts changing your behaviours and beliefs means that you have effectively reprogrammed your brain into a recovery positive direction that you have chosen. And that in itself is really quite incredible. So a key example of this in eating disorder recovery could be one we could use about body image. Many people with an eating disorder have poor body image. Fear about weight gain, perceptions of being fat in inverted commas, and regular automatic thoughts that are not too kind about their body or not kind about gaining weight are very common in people with eating disorders. But to use neuroplasticity in your favour here, You need to notice when you have a negative body image thought and replace it with a positive thought about your body instead. And remember again what I said here, you don't need to believe it at first, and you won't believe it at first either. But that's okay, because the belief will come as the positive thoughts become more ingrained and wired into your brain. So you just have to replace those negative body image thoughts with positive ones. Notice a body-hating thought and replace it with something positive, such as I love my curves and know my bigger and remarkable body is going to give me a bigger and more remarkable life. And put the positivity in there too. Make it fun, make it worthwhile. And alongside this, also make a conscious effort each day to focus on positive recovery body image thoughts too, not just when you have a negative body image thought. So that way the body positive thoughts will wire in faster, and that will help you change your behaviours around eating more, resting more, and doing other things that might cause you to gain weight in your recovery. And this is where the benefits to thought change and belief change obviously comes in. But it's also a case of doing it all together. Change your thoughts, change your behaviours at the same time, and allow your beliefs to change. Bring it all together so that your brain understands that the behaviours you are changing go in line with the recovery positive thoughts, and it's more likely then to create those recovery positive beliefs for you too. And apply this not just to body image. Apply it to thoughts around eating loads of food. Apply it to thoughts about your abilities to rest like a sloth. Apply it to being the Olympic champion of recovery. Apply it to everything so that you get that brain of yours rewired faster and you get your recovered life sooner, and the life you deserve is then here before you know it. So really focus in on what thoughts you can change in your recovery, what thoughts you can begin to wire in and make it happen. I'm Helly, I'm an eating disorder recovery coach. If you want to know more about my coaching, then you can find out more about that on hellybarnes.com, and otherwise I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Feck It Fun, Fabulous and Free Eating Disorder Recovery podcast. Don't forget, eating disorder recovery doesn't have to be boring and doesn't have to be serious. Now go and grab yourself some food and have a fabulous rest of the day.